Hey everyone, and welcome back. We're diving into some pretty interesting stuff today.
Oh, yeah.
The LAUSD and their upcoming cell phone ban.
Right. Starting January 2025.
No phones for students.
During school hours.
Big change.
Definitely.
So we've got a lot to unpack here.
Yeah, we do.
Research expert opinions, and we've even got some student perspectives to consider.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, we want to see, what this ban really means.
For everyone?
For everyone involved, yeah.
It seems like a pretty straightforward solution to this whole kids on their phones problem.
Right.
But the more you look at it, the more you realize it's not so simple.
No, absolutely not.
It's complicated.
And one of the things we're going to be looking at today is how this might affect students who rely on their phones for more than just, scrolling through TikTok or whatever.
Right.
We're talking about neurodivergent students who use their phones as like essential tools to manage their school day.
Yeah, like a tool.
Not just entertainment.
Absolutely.
But before we get to that, it's worth taking a look at what's happening in schools right now.
Okay.
I mean, I think we all agree that classrooms aren't exactly tech-free zones these days.
Definitely not. It's pretty common to see students glued to their phones.
Totally.
And we're not just talking about a quick text here or there.
Oh.
Some of these sources describe pretty impressive tactics.
Oh, really?
That students are using to, get their entertainment fix. Think about it. We've got hoodies with hidden earbuds.
Oh, sneaky.
Smartwatches controlling phones that are stashed away in backpacks.
It's like a
spy movie.
It's like a high-tech game of hide and seek.
That's amazing.
It's crazy.
It really shows you how big these digital distractions have become, not just in schools, but in life in general.
Everywhere.
And the research is really starting to show us how this constant entertainment can impact learning, really affect it.
And we have one study here that found that listening to music with lyrics can interfere with your ability to understand.
Oh, wow.
And remember what you're reading.
Right.
So even if you think you're just casually jamming out, it could be making it harder for you to absorb information.
That's wild.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
So is this reliance on phones actually holding students back?
That's the question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Academically, the LAUSD seems to think so.
Yeah.
Which is where this ban comes in.
Right. Okay. So let's break down this ban.
Okay.
The main goal, as we mentioned, is to shift students' attention back to learning.
Right.
Create a more focused environment.
Sounds good.
Sounds good in theory.
Yeah.
Seems reasonable enough.
On the surface.
Right. Yeah.
But there's always a but.
Yeah. Here's where it gets a little tricky.
Okay.
It doesn't seem like there's a clear transition plan.
Oh.
So teachers' families.
Yeah.
And most importantly, the students themselves.
Right.
They're all kind of left wondering how they're supposed to adapt
to this big change.
To this sudden change.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's easy to say no more phones.
Right.
But what about the students who use them for reasons beyond just checking social media?
Exactly.
Right. Think about the potential increase in stress and frustration.
For sure.
Especially for those who rely on their phones to focus.
Yeah, for self-regulation.
Or self-regulate. Yeah, it's a valid concern.
It is a valid concern.
It is.
And, we can't forget about the potential for conflict between students and staff who are trying to enforce this ban.
Right. Yeah.
It could create
a tense environment.
Yeah, a really tense and unpredictable environment.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. This leads us to a really important part of this whole discussion.
Yeah.
The neurodivergent perspective.
Right.
We can't forget that for a lot of students with ADHD, autism or other differences,
neurodevelopmental.
Yeah. Phones aren't just about entertainment.
Exactly.
They could be
vital tools.
Vital tools for navigating the school day.
That's a good way to put it. For some students, taking away their phone would be like taking away a pair of glasses from someone who needs them to see.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
It really puts it into perspective.
It really does.
It's not just a simple distraction.
No.
We're talking about
a necessity.
Something that's necessary.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Think about a student with sensory processing issues.
Right.
They might use their phone to play calming music.
Oh, yeah.
Or access a familiar app just to help regulate their anxiety.
In a noisy classroom.
Imagine that. It's like having a portable toolkit to manage those feelings.
All those big feelings, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or a student on the autism spectrum.
Oh.
You know, they might use their phone to communicate or connect with others.
When face-to-face is too much.
Yeah, when it's too intense.
Right.
It can be like
a lifeline.
A lifeline for social connection. And then there's focus and organization, too.
Oh, yeah.
So many apps out there to help students structure their time.
Right.
Track tasks and stay on top of everything.
Right. Stay organized.
For students who struggle with executive functioning skills, these apps can be
huge.
Game changer.
Yeah, absolutely. So taking away these phones, it's not just an inconvenience.
No.
It's like removing this crucial
support system.
Yeah.
It really is.
And the research that we have shows that the impact could be significant.
Oh, definitely.
Like we could see heightened stress, sensory overload.
For sure.
That feeling of being ungrounded.
Ungrounded, yep.
And maybe even an increase in behavioral challenge.
Yeah. Or disengagement from school.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's serious stuff.
One expert that we came across even said that for some students, this ban could be a step backwards.
Oh, wow.
When it comes to like creating inclusive and accessible learning environments.
Yeah.
That's pretty alarming.
It is alarming.
Yeah.
And you know, another problem is that IEPs,
Individualized Education Programs,
which are designed to support students with disabilities.
Yeah.
They often don't even address the role of phones.
For these students.
Yeah, these students, yes.
It's a big oversight.
It is.
So many IEPs focus on those traditional accommodations.
Right.
Like extra time on tests or sensory breaks. But they don't recognize that for some students, their phone is the accommodation.
That's so true.
Yeah.
It's like a total disconnect.
Yeah.
And it means that these students could be penalized.
Right.
For using a tool that they need to succeed.
That they genuinely need, which is not fair.
Not fair at all.
No,
not at all.
Okay, so we've talked about the downsides.
Yeah.
Let's shift gears a bit.
Okay.
What about solutions?
Right. Are there any...
Is there anything we can do
to make this transition smoother?
Smoother, less disruptive for everyone.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think the key here is going to be communication.
Okay.
Collaboration and a willingness to be flexible.
I like it.
Open dialogue between teachers, administrators, families.
And the students.
And the students, right?
One suggestion that we saw in our research was for the district to provide more resources and support.
Okay.
Especially for students who rely on their phones for self-regulation.
I like that.
So think about like workshops for educators.
Okay.
About how to create inclusive classrooms.
That support diverse needs.
Even without phones.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
I love that.
And what about providing alternative tools and strategies?
Oh, yeah. Like
designated quiet zones.
I was just thinking that.
Where students can go to decompress and regulate.
Without their phone.
Without their phones, yeah.
Yeah.
Or sensory break spaces with fidget tools.
Yes.
And calming audio options.
Love it.
So it's all about finding those creative ways to meet those needs without relying solely on personal devices.
I agree.
And, of course, updating those IEPs and support plans to specifically address the role of phones as support tools.
Has to happen.
That's a must.
Yeah, we need to move away from this one-size-fits-all approach.
Right.
And embrace individualization and flexibility.
Yeah.
Recognize that not all students use their phones in the same way.
Right.
And for some, they're a necessity.
They are a necessity.
They're not a distraction.
So it seems like LAUSD is trying to tackle
a really complex issue.
Yeah, a complex issue.
With this phone ban.
And while their goal of,
minimizing distraction.
And minimizing distraction.
And helping students focus is understandable.
It's understandable.
Yeah.
They might need to rethink their approach.
A little bit. Especially when it comes to those students who need their phone.
As a tool.
As a learning tool.
Yeah. This whole thing really brings up a much bigger conversation.
I don't think so.
That we need to have.
About the role of technology.
About technology.
On education.
Yeah, how do we balance the benefits
of tech-free learning?
Of tech-free learning with the needs of students.
The real needs.
Yeah, the real needs of individual students, especially
those
who depend on it.
Who depend on technology.
For accessibility and inclusion.
Yeah, it's a tough question.
It is a tough one.
But one thing's for sure.
Yeah.
Pretending that technology doesn't exist.
Right.
Or trying to completely eliminate it from schools.
Not the answer.
It's not the way to go.
No.
It's interesting to me that this isn't just about phones in schools. Well, it's about recognizing that technology
it's part of our lives
is becoming more and more
integrate
a part of our lives.
Yeah. So instead of fighting it, We need to figure out how to use it responsibly.
Responsibly and effectively.
Effectively, yeah.
And a big part of that is understanding that.
Understanding that
technology
can be both
a tool and a barrier.
Exactly.
It all depends
on the individual and the context.
Yeah.
So
this whole situation really highlights the need for ongoing dialogue,
open communication,
and a willingness to adapt.
To adapt and evolve.
When it comes to
technology and education.
Yeah.
What other tools and support systems
can we put in place?
To make sure that every student has the chance to succeed? Regardless of
their neurodiversity
or their
relationship with technology.
That's
the question.
That is the question.
We should all be asking.
We should all be asking ourselves as we wrap up our deep dive into the LAUSD's cell phone ban. We want to leave you with something to think about.
Okay.
What do you think schools could do to harness the power of technology?
While supporting the needs.
While still supporting
of their students.
The diverse needs of their students.
It's a conversation that needs to continue.
It does.
And I hope
we hope
this deep dive has given you
new perspectives.
Some new perspectives to consider.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for listening, everyone.